Hello fellow traders, it's Rafał Zuchowicz and welcome to my channel. In today's video we will be talking about Ichimoku Kinko Hyo, but not Ichimoku that you know from YouTube. This will be the Ichimoku Kinko Hyo. What I mean by that, we will cover not only the indicator and the 5 lines that it's drawing for you on your chart, we will be talking as well about the three very important theories: the wave theory, the price range theory, and the time theory. So if you want to know where the price will go and when the price will get there, because time is very important. Goichi Hosoda was saying that time is 10 times more important than, without exaggeration, 10 times more important than the price itself. So we will look into that. So if you want to learn, stick with me and watch this video. But if you really want to learn how to trade with Ichimoku, of course, you can't learn that from the YouTube videos. I will advise you to take my advanced Ichimoku trading course. If you go to my website, it's very affordable price just for you, the YouTubers who want to learn how to trade the right way. So without any further ado, let's jump into the course and let's see what will you learn today. We will start with the history and bio of the creator, Goichi Hosoda. Then we will cover the indicator, 5 lines, how they are made and why. Later we will talk about the 3 theories. As I mentioned before, there will be a wave theory. We will talk about the price theory or price range theory and the time theory. Of course, there is as well waiting for you invitation to members only section if you want to become an Ichimoku member and trade with me and with others and talk about Ichimoku, about the real Ichimoku. I will invite you. Let's start with Goichi Hosoda. He was born in 1898, later known as Ichimoku Sanjin. So his birth name was Goichi, surname Hosoda, actually opposite. Hosoda and Goichi is the surname. Ichimoku Sanjin, that's his pen name. He was a stock and commodities market reporter at the Miyako newspaper, later known as Tokyo newspaper, after the Second World War. In 1936, after 7 years of studying charts, he announced his Ichimoku equilibrium table, but not published it yet. He didn't tell to the public what it is. He just started using it for analyzing charts on the newspaper as well as on the radio. 2,000 students were involved in creating this theory. I mean, not so much as creating as coming up with all the numbers. It took him only to find out the number 9 and 26. It took him 2 years. So you know that back then there were no computers to run all the calculations, so he needed some students to draw the charts for him, so later on he could run all these calculations there. After war, he changes his name to Ichimoku Sanjin, what means what the man in the mountain sees. So if you can imagine where you are in the mountains, you can see everything from above. You can see the past, the future. If you can see a person walking in down the hills, this person can see only so much into the future, but you can see all the adventures that they are waiting for him ahead. Exactly, if he will need to pass through the river, through the rock, through the little bridge, you name it, you can see that because you are way above. So that's what gives you the Ichimoku strategy, that you can have the 1 glance, you can see the future, you can see based on the past. He sold his idea. He was asked by 3 very wealthy friends to actually sell them this idea, to tell them what's the secret, how he's drawing these charts, how he's interpreting them, just basically to give them a trading course. He sold it for quite a fortune. You could buy a very nice house for this money. And he signed a contract that he will be silenced for 10 years, so he will not teach anyone else for another 10 years, which he did actually for 20 years. And yes, after, let's go quickly back, after 30 years, he publishes his work. So 20 years later, after making the promise, but 30 years in general, he publishes his work. So he starts with volume number 1, beautiful cover, and Ichimoku, as I said before, Ichimoku at one glance, Kinkyo balance, and Hyo means chart. So at one glance, you can see if there is a balance on a chart, if the bulls are winning, if the bears are winning, and where the price is at the certain time on a chart. So here are the charts. You can see handmade charts by him. They were attached, all these charts, they were attached to the first volume out of, you will see actually how many. So after initial success of publishing his first book, he decided to write more books, which he did. And the initial idea was to do the trilogy, so write the three books and close everything within 3 books. But you can already see that there is more than 3, because he got on fire. There was so much success, people were so glad to see his work that he got on fire, and he published 7 volumes in total. So we have Ichimoku balance table, then Ichimoku equilibrium table completed. Then the third one is a weekly Ichimoku. So Goichi was teaching how to trade on weekly charts, because as you know, Japanese people, they're very busy. So for some of them, this daily chart was still too tight. They would need to look there every day. They didn't have time for it. The investors wanted to look at the charts once a week. So that's the weekly Ichimoku balance table. Later he wrote my best model. So you have a setups on the charts in this volume, and these 4 volumes you can buy as of now, as we speak. That's this first 4 volumes. 3 other volumes, they are out of print. You cannot buy them from the shop anymore. You can just read them in the National Diet Library, or maybe you can buy them from some private collector. So there's Ichimoku equilibrium table for skills. You can read it yourself. So are you excited? I hope you are, because this is just the beginning. So let's talk about this trend following indicator, because that's what it is. It's a trend following indicator. It consists of Tenkan-sen, Kijun-sen, Senkou-span 1, 2. The Japanese call them 1, 2. In Europe, we call them A, B, and then lagging span, Chikou-span. So this is Japanese candlestick naked chart. That's what you would see out of the chart, out of the box. Let's see. And you can't really see much. If you don't have very well trained eye, you cannot make much sense out of it. That's why Goichi decided to start putting some magical lines, and we will see why they are quite magical. Esoterical, maybe metaphysical, how he would call them. So line number 1 Tenkan-sen. So this line represents short-term investors, and it's a 50% of the high and low from past 9 periods. So we would take past 9 days, check the low and the high, around 50%, and make a dot. Another day again and again, and then we connect the dots and we have the beautiful line. So it's not like a moving average, it's created a little bit different. That's why it has these sharp edges, which are very important. I'm talking about it more in a course. Kijun-sen, the same idea, just instead of 9, 26. This line represents mid-term investors. Again, we take 26 candles. So you can see 26 candles. We take the bottom and the top, divided by 50, divided by 2, so 50%, and this is our line at the current day. And again, you can see that it's changing, there is flat and it's going up, and as well what it means, how to interpret it properly, more in the course. Tenkan-sen plus Kijun-sen, first two elements together. So let's put them together and we can see how nicely they are interacting. You can see that they are overlaying parts, they are crossing parts, there's a dead cross, a golden cross, and you can see very nice impulse, pullback, and another impulse, which we'll be talking about in a second. Chikou-span. Chikou-span is a lagging span. So here we have a chart represented as a line, and lagging span, today's closing price projected 26 days back. So basically what you can see here, the close is projected 26 candles days if you work on daily chart back. And it's very important chart. This is like, just by having this line, you don't even need anything else. Just by having this line on a chart, you can already trade like a professional. Kumo. Kumo, Senkou-span A plus Senkou-span B. So the idea of Kumo is, as drawn here, we have Senkou-span A, which is the top one in the up Kumo, and the bottom one would be Senkou-span B, or later they reverse, so the top one becomes the bottom one. It's a little bit faster. And again, what we do, we take Tenkan-sen and Kijun-sen, the value of Tenkan and Kijun of the particular day. So let's say if Tenkan is 10, Kijun is 5, then will be 7.5, and we forward it 26 periods. The same similar idea with the Senkou-span B. So you remember when we were creating, for example, Kijun, we would take 26 periods divided by 2. Now we are taking 52 periods divided by 2 and forward it to the future. So you can see 52 candles, 50% of the high and low, and forward it to the future. So this is our point right now. And this point is the 50% between Kijun and Tenkan, which we can see better from this picture. So between Tenkan and Kijun, 50% forwarded to the future. So this is Ichimoku Kinko Hyo. You can see it in this beautiful chart. So before we saw it like a naked chart, now we can see already some more information here. We can see where the traders, short-term traders are, mid-term traders are, and the long-term traders. So Kumo represents the long-term traders, as well as this is our resistance and support level. Now let's talk about the price theory. So that would be our first out of 3 price theories. So Goichi came up with some targets. So he was wondering, okay, so where should I be taking my profits? Because this is always problematic. Okay, you got into the trade is going well, and you want to squeeze as much as possible from your trade. So you need to be observing certain price levels, and here is how he was calculating them and how he was calling them. So first is a price target V, which is calculated. There is a formula for it, and we have the impulse, pullback, impulse, and you can see this is our V. So if we take the our impulse correction, so we would measure the pullback and put it on top of B, and this is our target V, and the V because of the shape. So he was using the Latin letters to describe that. Now we've got target N, which again, similar idea, but instead of calculating the pullback, we are calculating the initial impulse and putting it from C, so from the end of the pullback, as you can see, and the name is N because of the shape, so it's like an N shape. Now we have target E, which again we have the same idea, impulse correction, impulse. Now we are calculating the AB and putting it on top of B. So before we're putting it on top of C, now we're putting it on top of B, and we have target E. And again, the name is from the Latin letter because it looks like if you measure here and here, then we have like nice letter E. Target NT. Now we are calculating the distance between A and C and put it on top of C. So it depends how long was the pullback. NT can move significantly. Up or down, it can be very close to B, it can be below B, it can be above B. There is a few options. If we have like a massive pullback, then the distance will be very close, so we can just have a correction within A and B, and the name is because of this N, T. So this is the N and this is T. That's how Hosoda was imagining this, just to make it more visual, much easier to memorize. Now the price theory in on a chart. So as you can see, we still have the same chart from the beginning. When we started with the naked chart, we put all the lines, and now you can see how these targets are looking on the chart, and how, if the price was reacting over there. And you can see that we have our impulse pullback and our target V is here. Look at the reaction. The price reacted perfectly over here up to the fracture of a P of the pips. Later we have the NT. Again, the price just came straight to the NT, and let me mention, I don't think I did that before, that we are looking at the M5 chart. So Ichimoku is not only working on daily chart, on weekly chart, it works on all charts. So this is a M5 5-minute chart. Then you can see that we have a beautiful pullback after that, after reaching this this target. Then we have target N. We came up to the N, but we are still, just mention, I need to mention that look, we got into V, and then we are all the time under the Kumo. So when we are under the Kumo, that's where we are selling. We are looking for the sell opportunities. When we are above Kumo, that's where we are looking for the buy opportunities. But again, I will not get much into the strategies here. I want to do it properly. I don't want you to have like a rough idea. I want to teach you properly about the strategies. how to do it, how to think about Ichimoku. That's why I invite you to my website to take my course. It's very affordable. I made it for people on YouTube, not for, I don't know, like millionaires. So you can afford it for sure, and this will give you an extra like injection, because if you invest in yourself, then you will want to, you know, follow and be successful in trading. This is the idea. So then we have the N, target N, and you can see again reaction 1, reaction 2, and then target E is here. We just missed it by a pip. And later, after reaching target E, which is the biggest, you can see that like mission complete, and we have the nice pullback above Tenkan, above Kijun, retest of Kijun, and now we are going up and we got above clouds. So the trend is reversed because we achieved all the targets. So imagine that you are able to calculate the targets, and I will give you a proper calculation, a measuring tool as well for that, so you don't need to do it by hand. And then if you know that the targets were achieved, the price should go up. So not only you know where to take your profits, but as well where to reverse your trade, so you can make double profits. Now let's talk about the wave theory. So we will be talking about few waves here: I, V, N, P, Y, and S. And I have actually discovered myself, after reading these original books of Hosoda, that there is a little bit more options than just these waves. Maybe one day I'll publish my own book. You will see what I mean. But for now, let's concentrate on I wave. So I wave is just a single impulse up or down. So that would be our I wave. This is impulse, just price going in one direction without any corrections, anything like that. This is impulse up, and this is impulse down. Easy, pretty straightforward. That's why, as you remember before, that was our impulse that we were calculating, and then we got all this V and T and E. Now the V wave. V wave, again, from the shape, wave built from two I waves. So you have 1 and 2. This is our example: one I wave and second I wave. Impulse, another impulse. Then we have the N wave. So N wave, there are 3 I waves: impulse, pullback, and another impulse with lower low or ginger high or higher high. There is auto correction. And this is our big N wave. So you can see we have a massive I wave, and then pullback up, and then another I wave. So that's how we look at it. This is a small N wave, so that's what we're talking after we reached the E target. We went through the Kijun, retested the Kijun, and now going up. So later on we can have another N wave. So that would be this impulse through Kumo, retest of Kumo, and then we might go up again. P wave, very interesting wave. Actually, Goichi Hosoda, he was talking about P wave and PP wave. Like there are two P waves, but let's make it a little more simple than he was explaining in his book. And so this is, again, from Western technical analysis, you would call it a triangle. Then it would be like PP wave, actually, but let's not complicate it. So this is our impulse, and then the price is making its mind. So it's creating a nice triangle, as you can see. And we have a Y wave. So just going a little bit back maybe to this P wave, this is like a market is making its decision. Basically, it's something happened, there was an impulse, let's say some news, we went up, then we were waiting for the confirmation of the news. The confirmation didn't happen, it was a false news, so then we are falling down. So this is basically like traders are waiting, is it true, is it not true, will the price go a little bit higher or not, like accumulation. You could say that some are accumulating, some are distributing. Then we have a Y wave. So Y wave is very tricky wave. Again, everything comes from the Latin letters, and you can see like this shape of Y. So the higher highs and lower lows, expanding triangle, that's how we would call it in Europe, in America. So as you can see, there is a high, another high is higher, another high is higher, lower low, lower low. So it's an expanding triangle. It's difficult to trade because you might be thinking that, okay, if we break above, we should be going above, but then it's going low, your stop losses are being taken. So again, it's very tricky place to trade. Here as well, it looks like a reverse triangle, but this is our Y wave here, and you can see this is like a Y letter. And then we have an S wave. So S wave is a higher top, lower bottom, lower top in uptrend. It's opposite. This looks more like a Z here, but if you do it in an uptrend, that would look more like an S wave. So something like here, you have an impulse, correction, impulse, and then correction up to this moment. You see this correction up to this point of the top of the previous impulse, and then there is a reaction. So that would be our impulse, correction, impulse, correction. This is our S. It looks like nice S. This is more like Z. And that's how it looks like. It's very important as well. It's significant that there might be a massive move on the market. And now we will talk about the time theory. As I said before, the time is the most important ingredient on the market according to Goichi Hosoda, and I agree with him. The time is the most important, as we said before, the basic numbers. So now everything is around these magical numbers. Again, you remember Tenkan, this is Kijun. I mean the numbers taken from Tenkan and Kijun, these are the basic numbers, Kihon Suchi numbers, so-called, and 9 plus 9 is 18, but minus 1 it gives you 17. You will understand how we calculate it, because we calculate the connecting candle twice. That's why you always need to take one candle down, but the idea is that these two numbers are the most important, and all the rest is just created out of this these 2 or 3 numbers later on. So we have the basic numbers, let's call this 3 basic numbers, and then there are compound numbers, and you can see compound because 17 plus 17 minus 1, we always take, if we are adding 2 numbers, we always need to take the 1 in the middle away. If we are adding 3 numbers, then we would take 3 numbers away, like in this example. 26 plus 17, 42, 26 plus 26 minus 1, again 51, and you remember the Kumo was 52 to the future. I mean 26 to the future, but 52 candles from the past. So again, everything is very coherent here. 33, so this number times 2, again minus 1, it gives you 65, and 26. So this would be our 1 cycle. and this would like create 3 times 26. So this is a very important number. That's where usually markets like finishing its important movement. You can see that if you go and watch my video about oil, you can see how oil finished if its movement within 76 candles and then completely reversed. So it's very important to know 76. So let's put it together. Full cycle. We have 26, 26, and 20, 26. So what it means that this is our current price. We take 26 for the Kijun-sen, another 26 to calculate Kumo, and we put everything 26 to the front. So in total we have 76, and this is our like sort of view on the markets, and we can see where we are and what's the potential of the market. But again, this is much more complicated. I would need to spend here much more time. I don't want to make this video too long. So again, just go to my course. You will learn much more about the time and the time theory plus wave theory together. So there is the theory that the I wave might be equal I wave. So if one movement was 17, another might be 17 as well. I wave might be equal V wave. So again, 17 might be, if this is 17 candles, then 9 and 9 gives you 17 again, and so on and so forth. So you've got all the examples here of how to look at the market and how to predict the future. So let's put it to test. Let's put it to the live test. So this is our chart, the one that we were talking about before. This is our N wave, that's the new N wave. And we have A, B, C, and these are values of these numbers. And we are going up. As we said before, we have an impulse correction, another impulse, and we need to calculate where is D. So target V would be calculated through B plus B minus C, then target E formula, N, E, and NT. And based on these formulas, now we know exactly where is our NT, where is our E, N, and V. So these are the numbers that we need to pay attention. The market might be reversing there, and it's very important that they are aligned with the time. So this is very important. So, shocked? I hope so that you are shocked, because probably you didn't know that Ichimoku is so complex. Probably you just knew about the little indicator, like ugly looking on the charts. Check my videos. I made this indicator look beautiful. So it's a pleasure to trade with Ichimoku, because out of the box on MT4, oh boy, this is like from 70s. Nothing changed since then. Yeah, so you should be shocked, because this knowledge is quite not available publicly. It's very well kept secret by Japanese. As I said before, there's 7 books. Only 4 you can buy. 3 you cannot buy anymore. The godson of Goichi Hosoda, he claims that this 4 is enough, that you don't need to read the 3. That's why they discontinued the other 3. Who knows? They are not translated to English. So you might be asking me, so how do you know all of that if they are not translated? Because you can still buy Japanese version and you can translate it yourself, of course. if you have money, because the books themselves will cost you around £2,000 just to buy them. So over $2,000 if you are in dollars, and translation would cost you maybe 100,000 if you find a person to translate from Japanese to English. And it's not modern Japanese, it's Japanese from because this book was published in 1969, and with Japanese language there's this trick that you need to know what kind of Japanese person the writer is using. So you need to understand the philosophy, because Goichi was into Buddhism, he was following certain master, and to understand the language he is speaking, you need to find a specific translator to understand what he's talking about when he's talking about this philosophies as well. So good luck doing this by yourself. And this is the thing, like in my opinion, this is very hermetic world. Ichimoku, it's only in Japan, and you can see like Japanese yen moving beautifully according to all these Japanese theories, because the Japanese are familiar with it. Although even within Japan, it's hard to buy these books, and they are super expensive. They were meant from the beginning to be available only for professionals. Now we have access to them, which is amazing, and the knowledge is beautiful. Discoveries of Goichi Hosoda are fantastic. He spent 50 years, and not like a lazy twat 50 years, but a hard-working Japanese person 50 years. So you can imagine working 7 days a week, full-time, for 50 years on something. So his discoveries are mind-blowing, basically. So join the private club. That's another idea of mine. I would like to surround myself with people, with like-minded people who want to dig into this knowledge, who want to understand it, who want to trade with Ichimoku, and who want to just love it and be passionate like I am. So yeah, and learn the market trading secrets that they don't want you to know about. You already know that I explained that. They don't want to translate these books to other languages. It's a copyrighted name, so it's very hard to get this knowledge, really. Benefits: surround yourself with like-minded people. Meetings minimum 3 times a week. That's what I'm planning to do with this club. Of course, you can just take the course, learn by yourself, and enjoy on your spare time. Learn the wisdom of the markets. Ichimoku Plus. Join the 1%. That's what I believe. Through trading Ichimoku, we can join 1% of the winning traders. Maybe not the winning traders, but the wealthy, wealthy traders. Of course, never stop growing. There is so much knowledge there. It just makes you think and think and think how little you are. Make friends from all over the world, because the club consists of traders from all over the world, and much more. Visit now and join. So if you go to my website rafałzuchowicz.com, you can find the course, you can find more information about Ichimoku, you can join the club. Just send me a message that you want to join the club, and then we will take it from there. There's a chat section as well. You can ask me a question if you have any questions. And I wish you all the best, and subscribe to this channel, of course, so you can grow and learn much more, as I will be posting much more videos on advanced way of looking at the Ichimoku. There is an amazing indicator calculating everything, the time, the targets for you. It's just unbelievable. Unbelievable, the functionality of this indicator. You can see it from some other of my videos. It's just mind-blowing. Okay, all the best with your trading and stay on the green side of pips. Take care, bye.